As I stood at the podium beneath the soft glow of chandeliers, the room bathed in elegance and applause, I should have felt triumphant. It was my promotion celebration, my moment after years of sacrifice, endless nights, and unwavering discipline. But just as I began to speak, she raised her champagne glass with a polished smile and turned to my husband. "To the biggest failure I've ever met," she said, her voice sweet and sharp as glass. Laughter erupted around us, but it sliced through me like a blade. It echoed off the walls, mocking rather than celebrating. My chest tightened. This moment, which should have honored everything I had built with blood and sweat, suddenly became a spectacle. The warmth of admiration turned cold in an instant. They say success is the best revenge. But no one warns you how hollow it feels when the person you love most chooses your proudest moment to belittle you. For a decade, I had poured myself into building a life worth admiring. A flourishing real estate firm. A beautiful home crafted from shared dreams. A reputation for resilience, grit, and integrity. But Emily, my wife, seemed to fixate on flaws instead of foundations. What I saw as milestones she treated like missteps. She had been the girl I met in college, luminous, magnetic, and full of ambition. I fell for her hard. And in the beginning she matched me step for step, spark for spark. But somewhere along the years her brilliance dulled into blade. The confidence I once admired grew barbed. Her compliments faded into sarcasm, her encouragement into contempt. That night at the downtown Hilton, I realized the party wasn't a celebration, it was a performance. And I wasn't the honored guest. I was the prop. She had chosen the suit I wore, the music that played, even helped coordinate details with my assistant. But the toast? That cruel remark? It was hers alone. The laughter eventually faded into an uneasy hush. People exchanged glances, unsure how to respond. I smiled, barely, and raised my glass with a hand that trembled slightly. I searched her face for a trace of remorse, but all I found was a smirk. Sure. Confirming what I'd long refused to admit. The drive home was drenched in silence. She sat beside me scrolling through her phone, occasionally smirking to herself as if reliving the moment. "You didn't have to do that," I said finally, my tone even. "Do what?" she replied, feigning innocence. "Call me a loser. In front of everyone." She laughed short, icy. "Oh, David, don't be so sensitive." It was a joke. Besides, it's not like they don't already think it. Her words hit harder than any argument ever had. I tightened my grip on the wheel, willing myself not to respond. That night, in the solitude of my home office, I poured myself a drink, needing the burn more than the taste. My phone buzzed. A message flashed. Asterisk, "Can't wait to see you tomorrow. He's so pathetic." Asterisk. My pulse hammered. The message hadn't been meant for me. The days that followed blurred into suspicion and confirmation. I watched her more closely. Her late-night phone calls. Her mysterious business trips. The way she disappeared into the bathroom with her phone clutched like a secret. One evening, after she claimed to be heading to yoga, I followed. She wasn't at a studio. She was at a candlelit restaurant, leaning into a man's touch, laughing in a way she hadn't around me in months. Her hand rested on his arm, her gaze warm, intimate. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I prepared. I dove into our finances. Quietly, methodically, I found unauthorized transfers. Money funneled into an account I'd never seen before, under her name. I hired a private investigator. What he returned was undeniable. Photographs, recordings, full reports. The man was Richard, a mid-level executive at her firm. Together, they had been weaving a betrayal laced with calculation. Every insult, every dismissive remark, it had all been her way of convincing herself I deserved it. That what she was doing wasn't betrayal, but liberation. But she underestimated me. I called my lawyer. Revised my will. Secured my assets in a trust only I could access. Installed discreet cameras. Captured conversations that would unravel everything. The final thread came from a recording. Emily and Richard, carelessly candid, planning to empty my accounts and vanish. She had been building an exit strategy. But she didn't realize I had built mine too. 2 weeks later, Emily insisted on hosting a dinner party. Despite our growing distance, she was all charm and poise, laughing with guests, playing the perfect hostess. I let her have her stage. After dessert, I stood, tapped my glass. The room quieted. "To my wife, Emily," I began. Her eyes sparkled with anticipation. "For your relentless ambition, creativity, and cunning, you've truly outdone yourself." A flicker of confusion crossed her face. Then I pressed the remote. A video projection lit up the wall behind me. Gasps echoed around the room as footage played, Emily and Richard plotting, laughing. His voice was clear. Her intentions unmistakable. She lunged toward me but I stepped aside. "Sit down, Emily," I said. "We're just getting started." "David, this isn't." "Save it." I laid it all out, every account, every document, every lie. Divorce papers already filed. The prenuptial agreement that left her nothing. The trust she couldn't touch. The evidence that made her unfit to fight. "You called me a loser," I said, voice steady. "Let me show you what winning looks like." She glared at me, seething. "You think you're better than me?" "No," I replied. "I know I am." The final blow? I told her about Richard. He'd been fired after an anonymous tip exposed their affair. His wife had left him. His career in ruins. "I'm done being your target, Emily. This disaster, you built it. You can live in the rubble." She stormed out, slamming the door behind her. The silence that followed was thick, but this time it didn't hurt. It was peace. It was mine. In the weeks that followed, everything she had tried to hide came crashing down. She lost her job. Her reputation. The friends who once adored her saw her now for who she truly was. As for me, I moved on. I sold the house. Rented a small apartment overlooking the skyline. Alone, yes, but unbroken. The quiet felt different now. It wasn't emptiness. It was freedom. Sometimes I still hear her voice echoing in my memory. The insults. The doubt. The laughter. But it doesn't sting anymore. They say success is the best revenge. But real victory? It's walking away with your dignity intact. It's rebuilding, not just your life but yourself. It's knowing that in the end you didn't just survive. You rose.